Imagine a harsh world like Game of Thrones filled with extraordinary beings possessing the powers of DC Universe superheroes. Can you picture which superhero or villain your favorite character would become? Watch the full video to find out together. For those who don't know, or perhaps you already do, but I'll recap anyway. Game of Thrones is a TV series based on the fantasy novel series A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. The show primarily focuses on the battle for the Iron Throne, the seat that determines the fate of the Seven Kingdoms. The rightful heir to the throne is quietly growing up, with only a few aware of their existence. Factions within and outside the court are increasingly clashing and fracturing. So what would happen if the characters of GOT had the powers of DC superheroes? Would the balance of power shift easily, or would an even greater terror descend upon the continent of Westeros? Let's find out together. Jon Snow, the hopeful Superman of Winterfell. Regarding his background, if Kal-El or Clark Kent was sent to Earth by his parents before his home planet Krypton exploded, Jon Snow, dubbed the bastard son of Ned Stark, grows up in the cold, harsh north of Westeros, raised by the honorable but stern Stark family. In truth, he is an orphan, with his real father being Prince Rhaegar Targaryen and his mother Lyanna Stark, known as the Rose of the North. His father died in the final battle against Robert Baratheon in the Great War at Ruby Bay, the last battle of Lord Robert's rebellion to overthrow the Iron Throne. Ironically, this war was partly sparked by the love story of Jon's parents, as his mother was actually the betrothed fiancée of King Robert, then Lord Robert Baratheon. His mother and father died before he could know them, and before passing, his mother entrusted him to her brother, Lord Eddard Stark. As the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne, Jon could lose his life if anyone discovered his true identity. It can be said that in the DC universe, Jon would be a perfect and splendid Superman. Jon Snow, or Aegon Targaryen VI, would protect Winterfell just as the Man of Steel protects Metropolis. Character traits and DC fit. Jon's humility, moral compass, and willingness to sacrifice perfectly align with Superman's role as DC's ultimate symbol of hope. Both are outsiders, Jon as a bastard, Superman as an alien, yet rise to lead through their actions. Jon's swordsmanship and battle against the White Walkers mirror Superman's fights against cosmic threats like Darkseid. In the DC universe, Jon could be reimagined as a Kryptonian foundling discovered in the icy reaches of Earth's Arctic and raised by a noble family. His long claw could become a Kryptonian artifact, amplifying his strength under Earth's yellow sun. Scenario: Jon Snow as Metropolis's protector. Jon Snow, the one carrying the blood of House Targaryen. Though he doesn't officially own any dragon, he has flown on one. So imagine Jon Snow with the black Stark cloak soaring through the skies of Winterfell. He battles the White Walkers, or those with manipulative schemes akin to Littlefinger's plots. He is the hope of the North, just as Superman is the hope of humanity. When Darkseid invades, Superman rallies the Justice League, just as Jon rallied allies to fight the White Walker army. His leadership, forged in Westeros's wars, shines through. And of course, like Superman, Jon Snow also has dual identities. He is both the bastard of House Stark. Everyone thinks he's the bastard, that his mother was the only one who seduced Ned Stark. But his true identity is Aegon Targaryen VI, the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne. Just like Clark Kent, he is an ordinary journalist. But at the same time, Clark is also truly Kal-El, the last son of Krypton. It can be seen that Jon Snow as Superman is truly fitting. Daenerys Targaryen, the Supergirl of Westeros. Daenerys Targaryen, or Daenerys Stormborn, is the Supergirl of Westeros. If Jon Snow or Superman is clueless about his true identity, Supergirl or Daenerys is the complete opposite. They know exactly where they come from, what their destiny is. Kara Zor-El, or Supergirl, differs from Superman in that she was sent to Earth as a teenager, already aware of her doomed planet. In contrast, Daenerys, from the moment she was born, knew her identity as a Targaryen princess. She carries the responsibility of restoring and reclaiming her family's throne, once again, to conquer the continent of Westeros as her ancestors did years ago. Character traits and DC fit. Daenerys' fierce determination and compassion for the oppressed reflect Supergirl's youthful ideals and steadfast loyalty. Her dragons, Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion, parallel Kara's Kryptonian powers, like flight and heat vision, symbolizing strength and hope. Daenerys' Breaker of Chains mantra aligns with Supergirl's mission to protect the vulnerable, as seen in battles against threats like rain. Both grapple with their immense power, balancing leadership with the temptation to dominate, a tension evident in Daenerys' conquests and Kara's identity struggles on Earth. Daenerys Stormborn, the invincible woman of Westeros. In the DC universe, Daenerys as Supergirl could use heat vision akin to dragonfire to protect National City, her royal heritage corresponding to Kara's Kryptonian lineage. Her upbringing in Essos equips her to overcome challenges on Earth, building alliances with heroes like Superman, Jon Snow. Though Daenerys' ruthlessness sometimes surfaces, her heart for justice makes her a flame of hope, much like Supergirl. This pairing raises the question, would Daenerys' dragons join the Justice League? Would her ambitions conflict with Superman Jon Snow's ideals? Cersei Lannister as Lex Luthor, the ruthless strategist. Cersei Lannister, born into the wealthy, powerful House Lannister, thrives in the opulent but treacherous court of King's Landing. Her environment, filled with political intrigue and betrayal, mirrors Lex Luthor's metropolis, a city of corporate power and hidden schemes. Both come from privileged families, using their wealth and intellect to manipulate others. Cersei's cunning, honed by years of surviving her father's expectations and Robert's neglect, parallels Lex's calculated brilliance in outsmarting Superman. Unlike Lex a bit, who simply hates Superman, Cersei's enemies are a bit more specific. She hates anyone who sits on the Iron Throne if it's not her or her son. Lex and Cersei always find every way to eliminate their enemies, no matter the cost. Character traits and DC fit. Cersei's ruthless ambition, protective love for her children, and willingness to destroy enemies make her a perfect Lex Luthor. Both are master manipulators, masking their cruelty with charisma. Cersei's use of wildfire in Game of Thrones echoes Lex's penchant for destructive technology, like kryptonite weapons. In the DC universe, Cersei could be a corporate magnate, running Lannister Enterprises, with a vendetta against Superman, Jon Snow, for his perfect heroism. Her incestuous bond with Jaime could translate into a twisted alliance with a DC villain like Sinestro. Scenario: Cersei as Metropolis criminal genius. Picture Cersei in a sleek Metropolis penthouse, plotting to undermine Superman. She funds anti-alien propaganda, framing Jon Snow as a threat to humanity, much like she vilified her rivals in Westeros. Her wildfire becomes a kryptonite-powered weapon, threatening the Justice League. When confronted by Supergirl, Daenerys, Cersei's charm falters, revealing her desperation to protect her legacy. Her children could be her corporation's future. Her downfall comes when her schemes backfire, echoing her tragic end in Game of Thrones. Tyrion Lannister as Batman. The brilliant strategist. Tyrion Lannister, the ostracized half-man of House Lannister, navigates the cutthroat politics of King's Landing with wit and cunning. His environment, opulent yet dangerous, parallels Batman's Gotham, a city of corruption and shadows. Both are shaped by family trauma. Tyrion's rejection by Tywin mirrors Bruce Wayne's loss of his parents. Their outsider status fuels their determination to outsmart their enemies, using intellect over physical strength. Character traits and DC fit. Tyrion's sharp mind, moral complexity, and ability to thrive in chaos make him an ideal Batman. Like Bruce Wayne, he's a strategist who turns weaknesses into strengths. Tyrion's crossbow in Game of Thrones could become Batman's utility belt, filled with gadgets tailored to his intellect. In the DC universe, Tyrion could be a disgraced heir who dons a cowl to protect King's Landing, reimagined as Gotham, fighting crime while wrestling with his family's dark legacy. Scenario: Tyrion as Gotham's Dark Knight. Picture Tyrion patrolling Gotham's rooftops, his wit sharper than any batarang. As Batman, he faces Cersei, Lex Luthor, whose corporate empire funds the city's underworld. Tyrion's alliance with Jon Snow, Superman, is strained by their differing moral codes, but they unite against a common foe, like the Joker, perhaps Peter Baelish, reimagined as a chaotic trickster. Tyrion's struggle to balance vengeance and justice mirrors his Game of Thrones arc, making him a compelling Dark Knight. Arya Stark as Black Canary, the fierce underdog. Arya Stark, the youngest Stark daughter, grows up in Winterfell but is shaped by her travels across Westeros and Braavos, training with the Faceless Men. Her gritty, nomadic environment mirrors Black Canary's urban battlegrounds in Gotham or Star City, where she fights as a street-level vigilante. Both come from noble families, but reject privilege for independence, honing their skills through hardship. Arya's tenacity, stealth, and deadly precision align with Black Canary's martial arts prowess and sonic scream. Both are underdogs who defy expectations, with Arya's Faceless Men training paralleling Dinah Lance's combat expertise. In the DC universe, Arya could gain a meta-human scream power, perhaps tied to a mystical artifact from Braavos, making her a formidable vigilante. Scenario: Arya as Star City's sonic warrior. Imagine Arya stalking Star City's streets, her needle replaced by Black Canary's sonic cry. She battles crime lords like the Tyrells, reimagined as mob bosses, using her assassin skills to dismantle their empires. Her alliance with Green Arrow, perhaps Robb Stark, reimagined as an archer, strengthens her resolve, but her lone wolf nature creates tension. When facing a cosmic threat like Brainiac, Arya's grit proves she's more than a street fighter, she's a hero. What's next for this crossover? The crossover between Game of Thrones and the DC universe opens a treasure trove of possibilities. Jon Snow as Superman, Daenerys as Wonder Woman, Cersei as Lex Luthor, and others bring fresh dynamics to DC's world, blending medieval grit with superhero spectacle. But questions linger. How would the White Walkers translate into DC villains, perhaps as an army of parademons led by Darkseid? Could the Iron Throne become a cosmic artifact, fought over by the Justice League and the Legion of Doom? What if dragons faced the Green Lantern Corps' constructs in a cosmic showdown? For the next video, we challenge you to imagine new pairings or scenarios. Could Robb Stark be Green Arrow, leading a rebellion in Star City? Might Melisandre wield the power of a Red Lantern, fueled by rage and fire? Drop your ideas in the comments. What Game of Thrones character deserves a DC spotlight, and who would they be? Let's keep this crossover alive, blending the best of Westeros and DC's multiverse. Subscribe and share your thoughts for the next epic clash.